So, good evening. It's me again. Yes, now a little bit different background. Yes, it's the spoiler alert. That's what I'm looking normally at on the wall. You sometimes saw it probably already in one of the stories or pictures and posts we shared about the new HQ we got in, I think, August. Time is a very fluid thing in that year. Oh, believe me, 2020, you're getting on my nerves with which weekdays. Oh, it's Thursday, so it means it's Separation International. But here we are, changing up the setup. It's not the perfect setup already. It's a kind of like pre-stage. There is coming a new monitor, a new camera, a new microphone. There is stuff coming. But as always, stuff takes time. Not the ordering part, that's the easy one. That's just like getting your finger in line and ordering, but like setting up everything. So that's the view you will have in the future. And why do you have it now? Because today was a great day. I was allowed and paid for being the SOLIDE nerd I normally am. I'm always trying to tone it down for you, but sometimes there are chances where I can let him run here. I don't know really, him, her, autistic and gender is really a thing. But I let the SOLIDE nerd free because today was Sales Pro Training. Sales Pro Training is a very special workshop. I just give for clients who I trained myself before, so it's not something you can buy. If you say, hey, I'm a great salesperson, I'm going to buy Sales Pro. No, not going to happen. You have to walk through school. And if you're on that stage where I'm like, okay, now we can really upgrade your sales game, then it's Sales Pro time. So if you want the whole shebang, you have to start entry-level sales training, and then we assess the sales stream, because there is baseline you need, because otherwise you really don't know shit I'm talking about. So that's how sales inside of Empathic Business and Feminist Economy works. You have a spoiler alert about the new setup you will see in the future. The black wall and everything will be, of course, a little bit more optimized coming up with that, but now you already see it. So, but that's not all about today. It's not only about spoiler alert. It's not only about like what I was allowed to do today, which is so great. It's about like, and it hits the nail on everything, because like I had a full workshop day, had some clients call, had some mails in the morning, so, and still have probably to do some work. So it's one of these days which is very, very full. It's where you're exhausted from a good thing, but it's still, I'm here. And that's the one important lesson you always have to remember. No matter the stage you are in your business development, no matter how money you have in the bank, if you want to further down the road, establish your business, grow your business, get in line with it, showing up is the first lesson you have to learn. And that also means showing up, sometimes being a little bit exhausted. So I didn't have time to catch up with the makeup and anything, but you know me, I am that person like, okay, good. If you really, I cannot do a fancy makeup, and let's be honest, a little bit of a zoom filter, sometimes helpful for a long day. Not too much, because then it will crack if I put my hand in front of my face, then it would crack the filter if you put it up too much. But in realistic times, sales is, sometimes, depending on how the world is and how your life is, you have to put in your schedule. The best thing I can always advise you on is put in your sales time, put in the effort to make money, to help your clients, and that starts with a good sales. But in reality, sometimes like this, and I know when I schedule a sales operation in the German time zone, so CET at 6 p.m., of course, I will already have a full work day in the back. And some work days will be much more crowded than others work days. And no matter how many team members I'm onboarding, that's growing your company. It means, of course, there will be a sort of level of kind of like, okay, not to fresh it. But on the other hand, that's the good exhaustion. That's kind of like, it's a luxury problems. Not all of us have in 2020. Being exhausted from paid work. Let's be honest. Quite a lot of entrepreneurs, quite a lot of business owners have much more struggling times already, had them, and will have them in the next weeks, months upcoming, because 2021 will not be easier. Let's be here honest for a moment. It will be sometimes even more hard, because while if you're without reasoning in a situation, probably the state helps you, but if you're in there because then you have probably put up there is a thing that probably someone tells you, and also we already see that's kind of like where the energy and the communication shifts. Now you can have taken care of that. It's not a thing where you have not had the time to do stuff. So there's an important thing in all of these sales, but also on all of the entrepreneurial spirit. You have to take action no matter what. You have to show up even if you are to a certain degree exhausted. And for a good sales, you have to be on point no matter what. And you cannot, for the life and sake of your own company and your own well-being, not force that always. Yes, part of taking action no matter what is discipline, forcing it. But you just can't do that to a certain degree. The other points is that you have to establish a system that you can take action no matter what. That you have the insights, gut feeling, and anything else to establish that, to show up for your clients because they mostly need you, especially in time and crisis like now. It's really, really important that you show up, that you are there for them and show them the way out of their troubles. My part of showing you out of the way of your troubles is sales makes you money, and money is a problem solver. Yes, money does not pay you everything and cannot buy you everything, but money is the biggest #1 problem solver in the world. Because if you have enough money, you have a problem, and then there's the rule #1, throw fucking money in it. But to throw fucking money at it, I have to have the money, otherwise the throwing part will be kind of weird. So that's why sales is so important. And I would even tell you that if I probably have changed profession many years ago and said like, I'm going back into like, I do therapy or just go do finance and do like fancy portfolios or whatever shit I could have done down the road and something I'm still doing. Or yes, probably I would do lecturing full time. Who knows? I don't think my students would really enjoy that. We don't know, but here I am, being the sales nerd I am, being called a sales queen. But there's also one thing which is kind of like why I'm always that kind of like enthusiastic about sales, why I'm always showing up, because I know that if you do your sales, I know what happens next. Clients will book you, products will be bought, which means money in the bag, which means a full fridge, which means having money to solve problems. It is that easy, but it's also that complex. Because while we're all talking about always like optimizing sales skills and stuff, yeah, like today, we did a whole day of just sales skills. But as soon as you start implementing the sales skills, it's not only a skills game anymore, it's a confidence game, it's a mind game. You have to have your standing, because you have to do certain things you're probably not comfortable with because you were raised a certain kind of way. You were told a certain kind of way. And you probably were told the worst things of all: sales is dirty, sales is bad, you do not do sales, whatever the fuck it is. But then honestly, that take action no matter what is not about the skills you use. It's about showing up, being enthusiastic, being there for people, and people will buy. But the problem is life can be exhausting. And there also will be these times where people play dirty. Let's be honest, people play dirty. There will be that one comment where you like your imposter syndrome goes full force. There will be that one comment where like, why are you doing that? Or there will be negative reactions. But there are also these big life things, and life happens no matter what. As I already told you, if you're bilingual or multilingual, and I'm envy of that, you probably watched the Tuesday version of taking action no matter what. And I just want to repeat that if you do not in German version. Life happens. Life moments happens. A midlife crisis hits us. 50% of marriages got divorced. How many split-ups do you have seen in your own friends and family surrounding you in the last weeks and months? How is the stress management of people? Every time something in your life will happen, And if you're in a position where it's not your own company, where you kind of like can wing it to a certain degree, the problem if you wing your sales, it will have long-term consequences. And that's kind of like the awful part about my job. But let's be honest, if you don't do your sales today, you will probably write an invoice tomorrow because you acquired a customer down the road some weeks ago. So there will be no immediate effects on the negative side of your sales. But let's be honest, if you pump up your sales game against all odds, you won't even see an immediate reaction, because like it's not like one Facebook or YouTube video, thousands of paying clients. That's just bullshit. Please don't buy that stuff. Please don't waste your hard-earned money on shit where it tells you one video, 1,000 clients, or 20 days, 30 days. Yes, we have the 33 days of inspired action, but I'm not going to tell you that 33 days and then you know how to earn money in the internet. I mean, somebody called it internet. It's like, yes, not gonna happen. So the thing about it is, sales is a problem because I cannot, and I'm good at my sales. I'm like the queen of sales conversion, and I can do stuff people don't even know these numbers in sales. But the thing is, it's not immediate. It will not be immediate. Not doing all the sales will be immediate, but also not the doing sales will be immediate. Why? Because it's quite simple. Probably you watch that video, probably we know each other, probably we don't know each other. But till you're to that point that you will buy something from me will not be happening immediately. There will be a process. You will pick a brain date. You will figure out if it's even available in your language. Brain dates, yes, the other products are coming. And then you think like, okay, she's cool or she's not cool. I stand for feminist economy. I like the idea of being badass and going feminist, no matter, like, not a gender discussion here. And I think that's a good idea, like human-centered, value-driven business. Go for it. But that will not be happening immediately. And especially if you talk about spending not only 20 bucks, but at least like 300, 400. And let's be honest, the starting point to even work with me on a one-to-one level, there's just one chance to do it on a kind of entry point of level. And we're talking about already 4 figures. And so it's not, and hopefully will not be an easy decision. So I can do the best sales, but I won't see immediate reaction from that video on the 19th of November. On the other hand, if you don't do the video on the 19th of November, you also don't see any kind of immediate reactions on the negative side. But what's going to happen down the road, and I'm doing my job for way too much years, that I know what's going to happen next. I do that video. Down the road, people look at it, ask me questions, book a date, whatever's going on, but I will make money out of it. The other side, if I don't do that video, there will be also an immediate like a midterm consequence. There will be no money in my bank because I stopped my sales. So now if you're comfortable and have enough clients and book to the nines and like have enough money in the bank, okay, you can do that. But in realistic cases, first of all, money should be earned. And there's always like that thing coming, like the one letter that gets you moving. It's called a German Finanzamt. So more taxes to pay, great, then because that's numbers. And then you're sitting like, okay, great, six figures I have to pay, okay, I have to do my sales. But then back to, there will be no immediate results. We're now in that perfect time of the year. People think in years, though, weird thing, as if on the 21st of January, 21st of December, something really ends and starts on the 1st of January. Yes, there is the energy surrounding that, but on a long term, you're not cutting off 21st on December and then starting in January. It's a continuous flow. So now is the perfect time to either really get the last people moving, like, come on, guys and girls, now it's time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your precious time on Googling the shit and using the next free stuff. You as an entrepreneur now have to take action, especially now, because now is the time to tell these warm crowds who are already nearly there to give you the money to help them to really get moving, but especially to get them moving that you don't look at an empty fridge in January. And yes, it can be exhausting. Sales can be exhausting because it's nothing normally. You are woken up in your entrepreneurial way and thought, that's the thing to do. Seldom I have cases on my desk where I know, oh, that's someone where we make sales their business model. Seldomly. In like so many years I'm doing that now, I think every 4 or 5 years I stumble with someone who's like in that field where it's like, yeah, that's a good fit. So every 4 to 5 years, so that will be not 3 or 4 times in the last 15 years. So that's kind of like the ratio in it. So most business models are heavily dependent on sales, like every business, but have not sales as a business model. And that's why sales in itself can be so exhausting. But take action no matter what is an inside mind game to get to that game to do your sales right. But also understand that the moment you decided to become an entrepreneur, you decided also to become a salesperson. And if you're not there, then your sales will be even more exhausting. And just a word of advice on that, on the last note for our little session today. It's important to take action no matter what, but also to know when it's so deep of an exhaustion that you really have to step back, because you are important and you will always be one of the most important assets in your company. And nobody will win if you fall down the stairs. So always, please, take care of yourself first. And that's all about doing sales, even if you're exhausted. Find that point where you can show up. And yes, it's better like to show up, probably use the full face of makeup as a little bit of a hiding point that sometimes the exhaustion is not seen. A little bit of a filter won't help it either. But it's not about like how you look. It's about the feeling you give in the input you give. And if you're really exhausted, probably not going live, but writing a good blog article, scrambling ideas, speaking a podcast, but show that you are caring about where people are and that you want to help them. That's one of the most important lessons. And showing up is sometimes, depending on where you are on your journey and your business model and entrepreneurial spirit, showing up sometimes is 80% of all that is necessary. The more the further you go, the higher the numbers you get. Of course, more skills and more stuff is needed. But first of all, show up. Show that you're here. Don't go blind. Don't go silent. Show up. Be there. And it's not about you in that kind of game. It's about the others, that knowing that you're still open for business. So I wish you all a great rest week, a lovely evening or start of the day, whenever you're watching that. We will be back on our normal, as always, schedule with our Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday rundown, also next week and also through the rest of 2020, because we're here. We're here to help for you and help giving you hopeful insights and inputs to help yourself, and also to understand when it's time to change from free input to paid to get your problem solved on a more individual level or in a program, whatever fits your need. But don't always hesitate. The lesson you have to learn is when is the moment to throw money at the problem. So with that, wishing you a good evening and hope to see you soon. And now my new setup, yes, it's working. I didn't scramble around with too much of the monitors. Perfect. See you soon and talk soon. Bye-bye.